Hey homesteaders, I have been outside prepping for, not today, obviously I'm dressed up, but for the garden. I've been doing some measuring and some price checking because I want to do raised beds this year. As you can see, my yard is pretty much kids' toys and then otherwise clear. Our garden's usually in the back where that leaf pile is because we put that down because leaves basically make a no-till, no weed type garden throughout the winter, because if you put them down, nothing will grow under it. So we've been trying to keep that area pretty cleared out because this year I'm going to put my viney things there, like watermelon and cantaloupe. I'm going to try and do everything else in raised beds. I've been price checking, and the best place that I've actually found them is Amazon. Lowe's had one for like $226 and Amazon's are like $45. So yeah, I don't have to pray about that one. But anyway, I wanted to show you my lettuce because right now it is lettuce season. So lettuce and spinach really love this colder weather where you still have some frosts coming down and it's wet and it's cool and it's pretty. So if you're looking for a crop that you can go ahead and do right now, you can look at some root vegetables. I've got radishes out here, and you could do lettuces, chard, kale, anything kind of along those lines. They do really well at this time of year. So I planted these last week and look how they have sprouted up. So this is just salad lettuce. So this is just from romaine lettuce in these. I put 4 here. This guy is a little bit crowded. It looks like I went out into the yard and like gathered up pine needles and stuff because we have pine trees, so why not? But you see how pretty this is looking. It's getting lots of rain, which it loves. And then I've got 2 here, and then in here's my spinach leaves. Looking pretty, aren't they? Oh, looks like a bird tried to get this one or something. Some jumped on it and broke it. So there's my spinach. All of these need partial sun. So they only need roughly 4 to 6 hours a day. So they're up on my back porch because they don't need much sun. And there's the rest of my spinach right there. So my spinach is actually not taking off quite as quickly as my lettuce is. And then I'm going to come down here and show you what I've got out here because I wanted to plant something else, but I didn't have my garden beds here and I don't have them ready yet. So Eliana and I did this little experiment here, and nothing's popped up yet because we literally just put seeds in 2 days ago. And you can see where she like resurrected gravestones where the seeds went because I guess we're going to kill them. It's just, there you go. So this is just a plastic container. And all I did with this was I punched several holes in the bottom because this doesn't have its lid anymore. So it's pretty much useless for me for storage. And I have a lot of these anyway that get broken bottoms and stuff. So if you have a storage container like this one that has a broken bottom and that you've lost your lid for, don't toss it. This is actually a great garden bed for small things. So in here, radishes are super quick to pop up. It'll be, let's see, I planted them 2 days ago, and it's usually 5 days before you start seeing the little sprouts come up. And then they grow like super fast. They're ready to harvest in 20 days from planting. So they're great for kids because they're basically like an instant gratification vegetable. We put seeds in here. 3 seeds per little hole. Follow the directions because with root vegetables you don't do seriously deep holes, and the reason is because you need the root vegetable to also be able to get the photosynthesis for the sunlight, and they're going to grow more down instead of up because they're not as viney. So you don't plant them quite as far down so that just the little sprout that comes up on top can get that photosynthesis from the sun, but the root can continue to grow down and be nice and healthy. So in here I also like this clear box, and I want to plant carrots in it and fill it up a little bit more next time. But you could see my layers, which means if I planted carrots close enough to the side, I could actually see how they look and if they're ready to harvest yet. But I've got cardboard at the bottom as that helps it drain, and then I've got leaves above the cardboard, and then I've got my mixture of, I did some compost, I did some gardening soil, just pretty much some potted mix type soil, and then I have manure in here. So I just mixed that all up together, and I also mixed in a little bit of my naturally occurring soil, which I went and dug out of the ditch back here. So we've got like a ditch with no weeds around it, so I didn't want to have weeds that I plant out here. So I dug a hole at the ditch and a deeper hole and brought that up in a wheelbarrow, and I have our natural soil down there as well. So it's kind of like, it's a little bit lower than the black soil that I did, like the topsoil, because I didn't want the clay to get all mixed in and mess up my root vegetables. But if you're doing an above ground garden that has like tomatoes in it or anything, you can go ahead and mix in your native soil to your other stuff, so that way you're not spending as much money. I'm gonna come back here real quick because this is just so pretty out here. This is my yard. I gotta pick some more dandelions, don't I? Make some more dandelion jelly, and we've got some weeds coming up, so it's about time to start mowing again. So you can see kind of the difference of the yard where the weeds have all popped up, and then where I put leaves here, there's just not nearly as many weeds to have to contend with. Right here. Oh, there's my stick. See, these are all the twigs left over from my different peppers that I have yet to uproot. And you can see we threw turnips back here, and I actually throw like things that I don't use, like compost items back here to let them break down with the weeds. So you'll see, like, here's a piece of lettuce that had gone kind of bad. So I've actually been taking that and just throwing it back here to break down with the leaves, so that when I'm using these leaves at the bottom of my raised beds, they'll actually have some healthy properties that have broken down in them from things I just can't use in the kitchen. So that's my gardening area. Like I said, this year, this area I'm planning on it strictly being my viney type things, because watermelons and cantaloupes get super viney. So I'm planning on just keeping that down to that. And my yard, I'd like to do some above ground planters and really go crazy with that this year. Roots and Refuge Farm, that I've been following on YouTube, had a really good video, and something that stuck with me that she said about creating gardens is make lovely places. And I just love how she said that you make a lovely place for your food to grow. And that's going to be one of my goals this year, is setting up a lovely place. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. There's a view of the pretty purple field behind me. I'd love to get a cow or a goat and stick it out there, but Jason won't let me. But anyway, I hope you all have a lovely day, and I will see you in the next video. Toodles!